here. I'm going to give him a hard time for not being on time. How are you?
Good. How are you? Sorry. If anybody's mad about me being late, you can.
Yeah, you should read all the comments. They're not asking you questions. They're just asking where you are. So apparently they don't want to talk to me. They want to talk to you.
No, that they should want to talk to you. But I can tell you that the reason for this is Dale Jr. asked me questions on his interview just a second ago. So if y'all want to have somebody be mad at him. Which I know.
Yeah, tweet at him. Let him know that he was late for this. Okay, so we've gotten a lot of questions, but I'm going to dive right into it because you have had a roller coaster week as far as emotions. We've had some heartbreaks. We win the bounty, some great money going towards charity. But then I know it's not the Coca-Cola 600. It was not the crown jewel that you wanted, but you do win at Charlotte. So what did that win mean for you to check that off with the team? Because you weren't as excited on the radio as I thought you might have been at the end of that race, but I could tell you were pumped. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, they're way too hard to win to not be excited for or. So that's certainly not the case. Definitely wasn't the Coca-Cola 600. That being a crown jewel event obviously was really tough. But I think in a lot of ways it keeps you grounded, and it just as if we didn't already know as a team that they're not over till it's over. But that was yet another reminder that it's not over until it's over. But yeah, I mean, I think for us, just really proud of the fact that we've been putting ourselves in position. I mean, I know that the week has been tough up until last night, but we've been putting ourselves in good positions and executing good races and having fast cars. I just think all those things are really something to be proud of. And I think a goal that we had as a group coming in since I've been in Cup is just to try to be a contender every week. You're not always going to win. That's not always going to be the case. Nobody is going to win all the time. There are guys who have chances to win every week, and that is a real goal to achieve. So I think we can be amongst that group too.
Well, I know that you talked about giving your dad a hard time for not making it in victory lane for the Coca-Cola 600, but now he can give you a little bit harder time, at least for a year longer. But I also want to ask, because we saw you win the Truck Series race and get that bounty. A lot of people have been asking about that charity and where that money is going to go to. So any update on that?
Yeah, so actually I was texting back and forth with a couple of guys. I'm going to shoot something out on my social probably this afternoon on that. So excited to share that. I don't want to blow my cover here on live, but yes, it is getting finalized and worked out, but worked out really good. I appreciate Kevin and Marcus, those guys putting up the money to do that, and felt like it was, smart to try to do something good with it right now with all this going on. So yeah, looking forward to share. We're almost done, so close.
You got called a savage after that bow on that front stretch there. I know you said it was spur of the moment, but it was a pretty good spur of the moment decision.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I just kind of thought, why not the whole.
You even got the shakeout going. You shook it out, Ferris, and then the whole bow.
I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well just go big or go home, I felt like. So, the whole thing was about beating Kyle, right? So we beat Kyle and one and done on the bow. And it was fun. I had fun with it. It was just a fun atmosphere Tuesday. I don't know that the win helped me as much as just the fun feel that night had. Like, there's no pressure. Like, the group of guys at GMS are just super easy to work with, and we were all just having fun. And I think that helped me move on past Sunday a little more than anything.
A lot of people, not on here, but I've also seen on social media, talked about how low you sat in that truck. That has to come from super late models, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, it was like.
Yeah. Well, those trucks, I feel like everybody looks like they're sitting low, but I guess apparently I was lower. Like, I haven't been in one in like 3 years.
2017, yeah.
Yeah. So sitting in that thing, I didn't know any different. So once some people started saying, "You see okay?" And I was like, I just thought that was what was normal. I didn't know any different. So all was good. But yeah, the late model stuff, the door tops are kind of high in those cars, and it kind of looks like that a little bit. So maybe that's where it comes from. I really don't know.
It might be the magic spot to sit there low, and you might win. All right. So you also took to your Instagram and talked about your friend Judd, who sticker on that front of the car. For folks who don't know that backstory, tell a little bit about Judd and what that sticker means to you.
Yeah, Judd was my best friend from childhood. Have known him or had known him my whole life. His mom sang at my parents' wedding, and we grew up together. One of a kind guy. I can assure you that anybody who has ever met Judd over the years, that is one person that has probably the single biggest impact you could have on anyone he meets, and everyone always had the same thing to say about him. The guy never had a bad day, but lost him all, and really been wanting to win a race for him. Decided this year he had that little walrus logo was a tattoo on his leg, and had some stickers made, and just thought it'd be really cool to carry on my car board. So that'll always be there, and yeah, definitely never gonna forget. He was a good dude.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it means a lot to have that sticker on the car, especially when you're winning and pulling it into victory lane for him. We're now heading to a place that's one of your favorites on the circuit. We're going to Bristol. You're rolling off P6 there when that green flag will drop, but it's going to be pretty green because there's going to be no cars on track, no practice, no qualifying. What do you think those first 50 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway are going to be like?
Yeah, it is green. It's been raining a lot, so the leaves are out. But yeah, I don't know. Bristol's such a unique place in general, and I think not having any practice with the grip stuff on the bottom. A lot of times that stuff takes a little while to come in, and typically on a normal race weekend it comes in and we run on it, and then we end up wearing it out, and the top ends up coming in by the end of a race. So I'm real curious to see if we'll still pull it up, by the end of the event. But 500 laps at Bristol is a long time. Another thing that we're overlooking, the low downforce on these cars. I think it's going to be a really physical. So lots of Pedialyte starting tomorrow.
Yeah, get that hydration in. Short days that you guys get to hydrate, you don't have that long. But 2020 has looked very different for Hendrick Motorsports as a whole than what we saw in 2019. It seems like you guys have really figured out that new body for the Camaro, and all four cars have shown speed. It hasn't really been, just one that's been more dominant than others. But what do you think the difference has been with you guys versus figuring out 2020 so quickly?
Well, I think Chevrolet did a good job with the body, with the new Camaro, and that certainly helps. I think the engine department at HMS has done a good job in trying to improve our motors, really across the board. I mean, I can say with confidence that I feel like every department at HMS has improved over the winter. And I'll be honest with them, that hasn't always been the case, and I've said that for sure. And I feel like everybody's really come together and been pushing hard, and I think seeing the results from that. So, I think my big thing is just to keep challenging everybody to keep pushing and keep doing better, because I still feel like we're working cars that were built prior to the shutdown. And I think other teams are still working with cars that were prior to the shutdown too. And all the same guys are still running good now as to who was running good before the shutdown. So I think you could potentially see some different players once these teams have time to build new cars and put ideas in place, and just have the time to actually build something new, because I don't think that's been there in a while.
How weird was it last night to get out of that car with no fans to cheer for you?
So weird. This whole deal it has not been super weird until it's time to get out on the front stretch. Nobody's sitting up there like I don't know what to do. Like what do you do? Just stand there, high five yourself, look at, I don't know. Like, I didn't know what to do. So, not that I wasn't excited, but it's just awkward, to be real honest with you. But good problem to have for sure.
Yeah. How weird is it going to be at Bristol? Because the fans, it's so close to them. And it's almost feels like that indoor arena that you have at Bristol. I can imagine that the cars are always loud, but I can imagine that Bristol is going to be super weird without fans.
Yeah, I do. I definitely think so. I feel like that just the environment and how the stands surround the racetrack. I mean, it makes it such a fan-driven event, especially that night race. So, yeah, it's going to be odd for sure. And I don't really know, but like I said, if you have to get out in the front stretch with nobody there, it's a good problem to have. But it is weird.
Yeah, just wave at all the empty stands and imagine us all being there, because I know that everybody's missing it. But you've had a night to sleep on it. You win. You're locked into the 2020 playoffs. What's the goal for the rest of 2020? I know that you say being consistent and wanting to show up every week to compete for a win, but now you can kind of focus on the long game more so than the short game.
Yeah, I think just exactly that. I think keeping it simple and just trying to give ourselves a chance to win every week, be a contender every week, like no matter what track it is, mile and a half, short track, road course. I think we have the ability as a team to go and contend every week when we're at our best. I don't think that's out of the question. So I think for us, I'm really proud of our team. Like I said before, I really like when we're doing our jobs like we all know how to do. I think we can compete with whoever, and I've felt that way for a while. I'm glad to see that these last couple weeks have been in that direction. Hopefully we can keep it rolling.
Well, a lot of people were excited to have that 9 in victory lane, regardless if we were there or not. So good luck at Bristol. I'm going to give Junior a hard time because he kept you late, but I'm going to let you out early.
I appreciate it. Thanks, and yeah, sorry I was tardy.
Okay. All right, good to see you. Good luck at Bristol.
Thanks.